Is it being recorded?
Yes, it's starting.
Okay, good. Thank you. So welcome, everyone. My name is Ray Chang. I'm the program coordinator for the Morris County Historic Preservation Trust Fund. And we had our application workshop last week. And I'm happy to see all of you returning for our virtual training session for the new program portal that the Historic Preservation Program is beginning to use this year. This is a new application process, and so it's something very new to staff as well. So we appreciate your patience as we begin this journey together with this new portal. So as we mentioned last week during our workshop, the county is adding an authenticator process to the sign-on process. So many of you who were successful in signing on in the past, we will need to ask you to sort of re-sign on. It's going to be a process that it'll take place in the next 2 weeks. We're going to ask you if you intend to, if you have interest to apply to the Historic Preservation Program this year, to email me. Let me know the person, and this will be the person who would need to complete the application form. Okay? And so what I can do is in the next 2 weeks, we will send email to you as you will be considered the agency admin and the sort of the main grant contact. So we will ask you to complete the application form. In fact, starting from the declaration of intent all the way through the application process. So please email me if you want to sign on and to submit an application this year. Okay. It's very likely that you will need the Microsoft Authenticator, but all this will be made known to you when I send you the email. So be prepared that that's probably what you're going to need. I think many of you are familiar with the process where using your phone, you're able to enter authenticator code so that you can get in. Okay, so that's the status of that now. We've left everybody's mic open so that you can unmute yourself and ask questions anytime, all right, during tonight's meeting. So because as we go through the portal, there may be things on your mind that you can ask right away, so we can take care of it right then, all right? I just want to recognize a couple of HP board members who are here. Martha, thank you. Amy and Marty. And let's see. I think that's all. All right. Okay. So let me. Okay. Again, feel free to unmute and ask questions along the way. All right. One second. I'm going to share the portal screen. Okay. Does everybody see this screen?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
see it, right?
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, so this is again, as we mentioned in the workshop, when I illustrated that to you, this is still like a user testing area. So this web address that you see is not the eventual portal address. Okay, so just know that, and the process that we'll go through today will be similar, right, to the eventual process. Okay. All right. So when you arrive at the screen, you'll log in. Okay. So I'm going to be logging in as the agency admin. So it will be similar to your position. Okay. All right. You see it's asking you for a code to sign in, and when you click the send notification, it'll send this code. But it'll actually ask you, right, to choose among three numbers. So you see the number 46 there, that's what you choose among the three. And if you have a screen, a code to unlock your screen, you'll also be asked to put that in. Okay, so it says stay signed in. I always say yes. And see, here's another step. It says approve sign-in request. And it gives on your phone a place where you can enter this number. So this number 64 you see there, you enter it and you press yes. And then you're asked to put in your screen passcode again. This is specific to your own personal phone, okay? Okay. All right, so it brought us in to the system. Now this screen that you see here is what's called the dashboard. And if you see the screen with all the stats from our Press Trust programs, you have successfully entered the portal. Okay? So, and I have to congratulate you at that point, because that is really half of, I think, any headaches you may run into in trying to sign on. So at this point, you can see that I'm considered an agency admin, okay, which is usually the main grant contact, the one who fills out the application. So you're able to sign up from here. But on the dashboard, I want to show you a couple of things, starting with the left panel here, and starting with the bottom how to. And this is actually a place where you can find some guidance, and it's like a Q&A of using the system. So how to use the system, the filling in of the declaration of intent, different tabs in the application, such as property, budget. We'll get into these later on. Scope of work, public benefit. So these are this is an area where you can go to for some quick Q&As. All right. So the next area is the manage agency users. Okay? And here you're able to give us bank wiring information. And because all of our grant funds are transmitted to you through wire transfers, so the bank information is what's needed for that to happen. And yeah, okay. And the other part of the manage agency users is the manage agency roles. And here, Okay. Again, Sue Schmidt, thank you for allowing your organization to be used for this example. I'm signed in as a agency admin for Air Smooth Farm Foundation. And you see the role here, and it's an active status. And then you're able to as the agency admin, add user, right? When you click this add user here, you can create a user by putting in their email as well as giving them a role. So they can be assigned as historic agency admin or agency editor or read only. And you also have options to add an agency architect, an agency signatory, and those will be made available to you. Okay. So what happens here when you click Save Changes, the email will be sent to you, will be sent to the person that you put in the email address for, and alerting them to their it's like a user update, and so they can sign in to the system. Okay. All right. So under the app on the left panel, under the applications. Okay. So as the agency admin for Air Smooth Farm Foundation, you get to see all of the applications that have been submitted and or the results of these applications in what we have in our database. So you see that this screen is showing you applications from 1 to 10 of 18, and then you can go move to the next page and you see the rest of it. This page is you can, if you move back, you can sort this page by the funding year. It's by default sorting from the latest year, and you can sort, say, move it to the very beginning. Okay, so as you see, some of these are like still test applications, so please disregard that. But we do see all of your organization's applications to date. So to begin your application process, and this is really thinking to complete the declaration of intent. Okay, this is the first step in the application process. It used to be that the declaration of intent is optional, meaning you can fill in a declaration of intent or not do one and still apply, but it's no longer the case. Okay? It's now a mandatory part of the program. So what you do is to come to the Create Historic Application here, click on that, and it gives you the choices of submitting a preservation planning, a construction documents, or construction grant application. And we've gone through these during the workshop, but these preservation planning is for preservation plans and other documents, and construction documents are the architectural drawings and specifications that you can use toward an actual project. And of course, the construction grant is for brick and mortar actual construction applications. Okay, so for our purposes, let's start with the construction grant application. So I'm going to continue. Okay, this will take you to the declaration of intent page. So just for, I'm going to spend a little more time on the declaration of intent because that's what most of you will have to deal with in the next few weeks, perhaps. So let's for the grant application title, I would put in your application site's name first. Some sites will have more than one structure. Okay? So for this example, I'm going to use Ayers Farm. Say garage, and then put in your the actual purpose, roof restoration, for example. Okay. For the name of the organization, you should only have one choice, and that will be Ayers. And you see some of the data that's input automatically when you choose your organization. And this is data in our system. So, you don't have to repeat these since they're already in our system. So the telephone number, the mailing address, the type of organizations is a nonprofit organization. Now here, it asks if your organization, do you have a 501c3 status and purpose in historic preservation? So this is very important because for municipalities in Morris County, there's usually no question as to their status. County of Morris, and usually that's the county park commission. That's also not an issue. But for nonprofit groups, you may be a 501c3, but you may not have a purpose in historic preservation. So you've got to know if you have it, because if you don't qualify. Okay, so this is a question where you have to answer yes or no or other. And if you answer no, you're going to get this, that you don't have a purpose in historic preservation. So at this point, your agency is not eligible to apply. So this is something that you have to address. Otherwise, you cannot move on in this process. Okay. All right. And there may be other 501c3 status or purpose that you can input here. But for our example, we'll click yes. And then here you can select the site. Okay, you can select this is the main site, and you see that different structures appear under this site. We do have an option here that you can create a new site. Okay, because the same organization may be coming in to apply for a different site that they own or manage as well. So you have the option to create a new site. So you can enter a historical name and a present name, and you can save, and that will allow you to fill in your declaration of intent for this new site. Okay. All right, for our purposes, we'll stay with the Ayers Youth. You see the structure, it's actually not, the names ought to be more specific. This is actually the main the farmhouse. This is the garage, and I believe this is the tenant house. So for our purposes, we'll choose. Okay, here's also another option. If you need to create a new structure, you'll also be asked to enter the historical name, present name. Okay, for that. So for our purposes, we'll just stick with the garage. Okay. All right, so is your historic property listed on the historic registers or as part of a historic district listed? And you can choose yes or no. If you choose no, it's going to ask you if you're expecting a COE or a SPO opinion, and you can input that. Okay. Okay, for our purposes, I'll choose yes. Okay, so at this point, click continue. All right, you see at the right top, there's a DOI draft here, a declaration of intent draft. So this appears, and you have a check application completeness. And if you click that, it'll tell you what you're missing from this declaration of intent before you can submit it. So you can always look back. This is like a checklist type area. So here, there are a couple of things up here: the application status, the application ID, and then the priority. Okay. We're placing this here, even though this is in fact an option that you get to choose in the application form. But we recognize there may be two declaration of intents that you want to submit. So you get to put in your option here. That, and if you consider this one to be your top priority, you can put in 1, and maybe the second priority you put in 2. Okay, so for our purposes, I'll leave this one alone. So declaration intent, you see these that we filled in just now, and now more options are open up to us. Now it's asking you if because we had asked to complete a construction grant application, it's asking you that this will require an approved preservation plan and a construction document. Okay, so most projects in our program go through this stage, as many of you know, of a preservation plan and a set of construction documents before they apply for a construction grant. So it's usually in that process. So for a construction grant, you're going to be asked which preservation plan you are basing your application on. Okay, so here you have these states are actually not accurate, but you have the option to choose, right, the preservation plan, or if it's not showing there, you can upload your preservation plan here. Okay? There are many entries in the portal that will say mandatory upload. So those are items that you have to upload something, otherwise you cannot move on. Okay. So here you can choose a file, and you can choose a file, put in the title and a description. You can edit and upload it, and that will come up and occupy this spot here. Okay. And here it says, if your construction grant is referencing a construction document that's previously approved by the county, select from the below table. So as you know, many of our construction applications, as long as they're over $50,000 in the total project cost, you're required to provide construction documents. Otherwise, you cannot apply. So this is a place where you have to select it if you find it listed here, or you can upload the set of construction documents here. Okay. Now, I know this is different than before. In the past, the declaration of intent is usually one page. It just gives you, asks for very simple, basic information. But here, it's asking you to provide that. So please comply. And we have the mandatory upload here. So again, you can choose your file and upload it. Okay. And then here's a place where you can upload your historic structures report. Some of you do have this. And then this lists the structure that you have selected. Okay, so here, all right, here, our database actually has this block and lot inputted here, but you will have an opportunity to enter to enter your tax parcel block and lot. Okay, so I know, in fact, I don't know why this number is showing this, but this is actually block 2003 and lot 1. So I save it. Okay, so this is inputted here. Now, importantly, I didn't mention this. Importantly, under the qualification code, if you have a qualification code, you can enter it here. If you don't have one, don't enter anything, because if you enter something, that's going to mess up the system, because we use this to generate the map. Okay, so now that we have this here, the parcel information, this should generate a map that will allow you to confirm that this is the parcel that you're talking about in this application. Now, right now, you don't. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's not doing it automatically. It should be zooming. It should be zooming to this particular. Yeah, in fact, I see it here. It should be zooming, right? Once you input this parcel, it should be zooming to this Ayers Farm lot, and you should be able to see, right? You see the different structures that are in the system. Okay, but I think for our purposes, let's move on. So it asks, okay, so this is what we answered before, that this property is listed. And okay, here it asks the relationship of the applicant to the historic resource. Or you can say applicant owns the property, or you can, in this case, applicant leases the property, and the owner's name is Denville Township. So you see how this is also in the system already. You can input any ownership description if it's something different. In fact, if you click other here, you'll be asked to enter ownership description. Okay. So there are items where it may not be applicable to you. So feel free to enter not applicable here. Okay. And then it asks you a proposed purpose of the grant requested. So you can enter here. I think the limit is 500 characters, but feel free to explain the purpose of the grant requesting. And here we'll put in roof restoration of the garage.
Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead. Any questions? Okay, all right. So now here, you are given the option to enter the total project cost. You see there's a match percentage here, and it's showing 20%. This is the standard match requirement for our program. And as you know, as many of you may know, our acquisition applications have a 50% match requirement. So in that instance, you'll need to be entering 50 here. Okay, well, I'm gonna leave it on 20 first. So let's say we'll put in a total project cost of 200,000. Okay, see how it automatically calculates the match and the funding request for you using this 20% match. All right. So if you actually have a acquisition application and you use a 50% match requirement, see how this changes it to 100,000 match and 100,000 match or funding request. Okay. All right, I'll leave it at 20. Okay, and if you enter anything less than 20, notice that it doesn't allow you. Okay, match percent cannot be less than 20%. Okay. All right, so you gotta enter. I mean, some of you, if you want to put in 40%, you can do that too. I mean, calculate the percentage figure for you, okay? And we'll leave it at 20. Okay, so here, this is the end of the declaration. I'll put in your name, certified, I'm authorized to complete the form. And okay, and then my title. Let me see, I'll say treasurer. With the date. And save changes here. Did I click this? Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm sorry. So I missed some things that I had to put in. As I told you, I didn't do it myself. So I'm gonna, I'll just pick up some things here. Okay, another mandatory upload here. Okay, so I have these mandatory uploads. Okay, well, hopefully that will do it. Not sure. All right, I apologize for that. There seems to be something that's needed. But okay, yeah, let me just say that it should have saved the changes and made this into a DOI. Oh, okay. You know what? You know what happened was there was some issue with the completeness checklist, and it somehow saved it still. Yeah, I apologize, but you see how it's listed here now, Ayers Farm Garage Roof Restoration. And if you click into it and you see the status is called DOI draft. Okay, so DOI, okay, DOI draft. Okay, so now, okay, yeah, I apologize. There were something that it didn't work. Uh, but it's supposed to keep all of the data that we enter. Oh, another possibility is that I didn't save the changes fast enough. There is a in this, and this is something that you have to remember when you work with this portal, is that you have to save changes often. Okay, so in fact, Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to go through this again, but you can see that this is now a DOI draft, and if you click, if you click DOI draft, you'll have the option, right, assuming everything is complete, of course, to submit the declaration of intent. Okay, so when you click this submit declaration of intent, this will be submitted through the portal, and I'll get a notice that you've submitted one, and so I'll be working with you. If there are things in the declaration of intent that needs to be modified or changed, I'll let you know through also it's like a it's like a like an email system within the portal. But I'll let you know what you may be missing or what you may need to correct, modify, and then you can modify it because I would have opened it up again for you to modify it, and then you can resubmit your DOI to me. So at that point, the county, when everything is correct and everything looks right, the county will approve your DOI so that you'll receive that DOI. The DOI, your status will become DOI approved. Okay. In fact, I think there may be an example here. DOI. Okay. Yeah, no. Okay, so your status, once we approve it, it'll become DOI approved. Okay. And okay, and once your DOI is approved, your application in the portal is open up to review all the application form tabs. Okay, so I'll show you an example. This is actually a completed project. However, you'll see the same tabs that's used in actual. If you have to fill out a blank application form, that's what you'll see. Okay, so let me show you this. This is a completed application. Okay, so you see how the property tab here, okay? Yeah, many things appear here. What you don't see, there should be a button on the right top which says DOI approved. Okay, that's what you should see. But because this is a completed application, you don't see it now. Okay, now you see there are a couple of things you want to pay attention to. You won't see this yet. This is actually consultant actions, which is because our consultant, the county uses a consultant to review all of the applications, and our consultant will also tap into the portal, right, to review the applications and also submit her review comments to the HP review board. Okay, so I'll just show you this, but keep in mind you're not going to see this during your when you fill out the application. Okay, so under the consultant actions, you can see a comment section, and this is and you'll see this right once she reviews your application and submits comments. These comments will be recorded here, so you can come back and you can go into the comment section and you can see everything that she has submitted. Okay, so this is the set of comments from her, and then there's a feedback section where questions from our consultant is put here. So the questions are here, and then these are the answers that you'll have to provide. And you have to recognize that these are also visible to the review board. Okay. Now, very quickly, because the way that the system is set up, you have to indicate which question you are addressing. So, for example, you should put in at the beginning of this answer, you should put in A1 for answer 1. You're addressing question number 1. Okay, so I hope I can make that clear when you actually get to see the questions from the consultant. Okay, yeah, some of this is a bit detailed, but I hope you'll understand when you get there. So there's a feedback section, and this is something that we can use to communicate with one another. If you have questions about the process, about filling up your application form, you can use the feedback section to send your questions to me, and I can answer you through the portal. Okay. Okay, so we want to really look at the different application tabs that you're open to. Okay, and so once you have a approved declaration of intent, all these tabs are open to you. So the property tab, roles, budget, public benefits, signatory, other documents, the grant agreement and easement. These will actually show up after your grant is approved. Okay, if you get awarded for your grant, these will pop up. So we just need to worry about these tabs now. So under the property tab, many of these, even though this is a completed application, many of the information that you see here may be existing in our system, especially if you're a returning site. You've been through the process before, receiving many grants in the past, and so your information could be already pre-filled. So that saves you the trouble of filling this information again. Okay, just really quickly going through the property tab. See, some of this is the same as what you fill up already in the declaration of intent. Okay, some structure information. You can, under the heirs, I think this is, you said the heirs garage. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, this is the completed application from before. But you get to view, right, the structure details of that structure. So so those of you who are familiar with our application form know that these are some of the questions that are from the application form, but they're not put into this format. Okay. All right. And you see, this is the Register of Historic Places status with the dates, perhaps a listing or COE. And you see, this is all, this should be pre-filled for most applications because, first, the property must be listed or considered eligible for listing. So those should usually be pre-filled. Okay. But I think you'll still have an opportunity to amend if you have new or updated information. Okay. Okay, you're asked to give the architectural, cultural, historical significance of the property here. You have to give the current condition of the property. All right, describe any conditions, inappropriate use or needs threatening the property, existing use, proposed use. Here, the photographs. All right, here, you in your actual application form, you'll actually have a option, right, to actually select a file and input. And after some consideration, we still ask you to input each photograph by itself, so one by one. I know it's a bit cumbersome, and we ask that you input no more than 40 pictures, okay? No more than 40. And so you can input them here. And then other questions that you can put in. For those questions, that may not be applicable to you, you can put in NA, okay, for non-applicable. And then down here at the bottom, for the operating budget, you actually get options to enter the year, the total revenues and total expenses. So you can just select and input accordingly. All right, I want to show you just quickly through these tabs, because you only get here when you have an approved declaration of intent. Okay, all right. So under the roles tab, yeah, you'll have a chance to choose your primary contact. This is the person who will receive all of the automatically generated emails and notices from the portal. Okay, so that primary contact, you can choose actually more than one. But here you'll also, in fact, yeah, you can toggle these for the primary contact. Okay. For the budget, I just want to show you that under the budget tab, you input all of your construction items. Okay, usually you would input all of the individual. Okay, I'll show you. Notice there's an initial section and then a final section. The initial section is all the data for your construction application that you put into the portal. Okay. Once you receive an award, okay, you actually get approved for your grant, then this final becomes available to you. Where under the initial, you see the match required, different items, right? This is actually the professional services portion, but you see the match required and the grant request here. But once your project is approved, you find the numbers under the final, okay? Under the final, and then you see here a recommended grant amount and an approved grant amount, okay? So you actually see what was recommended by the HP Review Board and also the amount of the approved grant, okay? So as you know, as many of you know, you can have a partial grant, like not your entire request is granted. So you may have a smaller number here, right? A smaller number here. So, but yeah, that's to show you the different parts of this budget tab. But under the initial tab, I want to show you this is where you can input the individual work items under your construction budget. Okay? So here you see the professional services area, right? So this is where you enter those. Under the well, I'll choose this because this is a tenant house one. Yeah, you see how this is entered. There's under the category exterior, you find that you can input. This is all inputted here because this is a completed application, but it would be blank for you when you enter one. So all the work items that you put in here, the project cost, or with the match and the grant, you only enter the project cost because there's a match percentage, which is 20%. And that's what you use. All of your match and grant request numbers is going to be calculated based on that match percentage. So you only need to enter the project cost, okay? So you have that under the category, this is for general conditions. Notice these are the categories under your construction grant application currently. Okay, so you have a category for interior. You also enter other numbers. All right, and then you also have to input, similar to our current application form, your matching funds, the source, whether it's cash in hand or expected funds, your documentation. There are also going to be options for you to upload those files. And then documentation, if you don't have matching funds currently available, you have to explain your plan and your schedule for raising the matching funds. So here's a section of the Municipal Open Space Trust Fund, because we do sometimes refer to the Municipal Open Space Trust Fund if your application includes perhaps matching source from the municipal open space program. So this is where we actually get some, we can check to make sure that yes, those funds are available. So, but this may not be true for every application. Yeah. Okay, so that's the budget down. The scope of work, right? You have to put in your scope of work. Tell us the stage that the project is in. Description of your proposed work. This is an important page. I think this is probably the most important one, where you have to put in the proposal addressed to the applicant on the letterhead of the consultant selected for the project. Right? This is where you input your professional proposal. In most cases, it's a professional service proposal from your architect or your preservation consultant. Okay, or it could be a quote from a contractor, something that you're basing your application on. Okay. So many other different items requested. Here, it asks for the current plans and specification. Notice that this is really a repeat of what we may have submitted already during the declaration of intent. But we do ask that you repeat input on these documents. This is where the appraisal for acquisition projects are put in. I understand this is a construction form, but these are sort of part of the standard screen for the portal. Okay. Okay, you input the dates for your projected dates for the project. Yeah, I know these are. I believe these will be pre-filled from your previous applications. I mean from your declaration of intent. But if they're not, these should be input. Okay. Okay. Public benefit. Yeah, these are very similar to our current application form. You simply have to input the questions. Signatory. Signatory. Since you already signed up and signed in and able to work to this point, all you need to do is input your name and your title and the date, and that becomes your online signature. Okay. Other documents, I want to show you this. This is where the professional services checklist is contained, and you can now come into here using this through the portal, right? This is important for your, if your project involves professional services, which most of this construction grants would do, they will need to come in here. Your project team leader, which is usually the preservation architect, will need to be here. They will need to complete the project team, right? You have to tell us the role, could be a cost estimator, an engineer, and then you have to tell us if they meet qualification standard. And then there's also a signatory part where the applicant, which is your main grant contact, must sign, right? Put in your name basically and the date. And then here is a place where the project team leader needs to sign. And so I mentioned about the agency architect before. This is an important member of your project team. So he or she is going to be able to, once they are an approved user of the portal, they can come in for this purpose, right? To put in their name and sign. Okay, and sign here. So, I mean, just putting their name and the date. So that's the professional services checklist. Now, if you're a preservation planning grant application, you're going to see here the checklist for your preservation plan and historic structure report checklist. Okay, it's really the same as what you have now in our current forms, but it's basically filling it in online. Okay? It's actually very similar because we currently also have fillable PDF forms, so it's actually quite similar. Okay. Okay, so that's all. I mean, that's really everything I want to tell you regarding the portal. I know sorry, it took me an hour to get to this point, but and you were very patient. I didn't hear any questions, but are there any questions now that we can maybe try to address?
Hi, Ray. I have a question. This is Annabelle from the Morris Museum.
Yes, hi.
Hi. And apologies if this is too specific to me. I'm happy to follow up via email tomorrow as well. But
Yeah,
I know that you had reached out a while back, as we have an open grant with the county about getting into the portal, and I think you sent me something to try to get into the portal, and I had issues then.
yes.
Would I still reach out to you as you recommended everyone do? Or I'm just unclear if the museum currently has an account or if we're kind of starting anew and how we sort of work with that, given that we've had issues getting in the past.
Yes, the short answer is you're starting anew. Yeah, you
Okay.
have to start anew. So yeah, I apologize. There are many of you who have spent much time to work with the system before, and you were successful in coming in, signing on. Um, our process is now edited because of the authenticator process. So it's a new process to sign on, and so we'll be asking every one of you to begin anew and use the new sign-on system with the authenticator to sign up. So I'm glad you brought that up, Annabelle. This is an important point. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? I'm going to stop sharing. So
Ray, it's Alyssa. I just want to
yeah.
confirm so that maybe I can put the link in the chat.
Okay.
Do people need to download specifically the Microsoft Authenticator, or can they download any type of authenticator?
Yeah. Let's wait. Um, my understanding is that the Microsoft Authenticator is needed to work this process. However, there's some final things that our IT has to put together. So instead of confusing everybody, I want to give you the right information the first time I reach out to you. So why don't we hold off on giving the link for any authenticator apps? Okay.
Yep, sounds good.
Yeah. Thank you for suggesting. Yeah. Any other questions at this point?
Yes, I have a question about the signing. Does the role, I mean, the one has added the role, can they sign?
Yes, only the agency admin and the agency architect. There's also an agency signatory. Those are different users that can be given access. So those three, they have the ability to sign.
Okay,
Mhm.
right.
So
So like our church, we have like me will be the agency, but my pastor will sign too. So what role will he be?
yeah, he could be an agency signatory. So yeah, that's fine. We'll figure it out. You can send me his email, and I can I can send him so he can sign on as the um, agency signatory.
Okay.
Yeah, there are other roles that you can have for your agency, such as an agency edit, an agency. For example, the agency edit is able to edit information in your application. Okay? An agency, another one is agency read only, where people, those they can come, they can sign in, they can look at the application, but they cannot edit and they cannot sign.
Okay. But the editor, they can fill out, edit, and also upload picture, whatever, right?
Correct. Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I want to emphasize again, if you're interested in filing this year, or interested to at least submit a declaration of intent, please send me an email, and give me your email address, as well as whether or not you're an agency admin, or an agency signatory, so that these potential users will be here in my email, and I can then in the next 2 weeks I can send the instructions out for you to sign in, either having downloaded an authenticator, the Microsoft authenticator, but ways you can successfully sign on. And it's I really ask your patience, because as you saw, the authenticator is actually a two-screen type. You have to enter a number. In fact, you have to choose from one of three numbers that you're given, and then you have to put in another number. So it's actually a fairly lengthy process, but hopefully this adds to the security and will facilitate really the good usage of the portal. Okay. Any other questions? And I'm available anytime.
Yeah, the portal you show the size of font kind of small. Can we make it bigger?
That's a good question. I'm going to ask, but I don't think we can change actually the font display. But I'll ask that question for you. Yeah, I hope, I know that the display is quite small, and I had to show you the using the declaration of intent. I hope you saw what I was trying to show you.
Yeah, someone put on the chat say we can zoom in on our web browser to make it bigger, I think.
Yeah, I think staff tried to do that before, and it never was like a solution, such a solution like that. So, but I'll ask for you, okay?
Okay.
Any other questions? Again, I'm available from, I think the best way to reach me is through email, but I'm also available on my phone during work hours at 973-829-8138.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh, someone asked, is there a portal guide? Like a help?
Yes, yeah. That's right. Yeah, thank you. I forgot, and thank you for putting some questions in the chat. Hope. Okay, I'm sorry, Ellen. I didn't realize it was very soft for you. I hope you guys, most of you heard me. Okay. Okay, yes. So remember the screen that when you first logged in, you see the dashboard? On the left panel, on the very bottom, there's a how-to with the question mark. That's really the guide. That's really the portal guide because it's got, good instructions and reminders and guidelines, and it's like a small Q&A. So if you run into an obstacle, you can always consult that how-to to maybe find an answer. Okay. Okay. All right. So thank you very much. If there are no other questions, thank you again for attending. And I hope this process will be comfortable and smooth for you. So we can all sign on and be able to use this portal. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ray.
Alrighty. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Thank you,
Take
Ray.
care. Okay. Have a good night.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank-
Good night. Okay, we can stop share now.